Basically, the Father School movement started in 1995 in South Korea, and it started as a kind of a men's movement to help address a lot of the absenteeism fatherhood that was plaguing a lot of South Korean dads who were kind of focused on breadwinning and were not emotionally evolved. And so there are a lot of kind of problems that a lot of Korean fathers have in terms of the emphasis on emotional restraint, which is very different than the American standard of being a friend to your family and engaging in democratic conversations and saying I love you. And this is just not part of the normative performance of fathers in Korea. And so this organization operates in 53 countries, in the church context, in the school context, in the prison context, in the military context. It was brought over to the United States in 2000, and so they have Father School USA. You can find more information on fatherschoolusa.org. And so they really target immigrant fathers, Asian American fathers, and Latino Hispanic fathers, men on the margins of the mainstream. And so I think one of the unique things about this is that we just don't know a lot about men on the margins. How do immigrant families, how do non-Western dads experience fatherhood?
And the Father's School, as you were sharing with me, it is a faith-based program. And so you take these principles and integrate them into the lives of these immigrant fathers. Tell me about some of the leading principles that you're trying to impart here. Right.
So the Father's School program is you can be thought of as kind of a gender boot camp, is what I call it. And so men are being put through a 4 to 5 week boot camp where they're learning literally how to hug other men in small groups and learning how to say I love you to their kids, writing letters to their own father to deal with the father's influence. They deal with the father's masculinity, the father's spirituality, and these are all modules. And men are going on dates with their kids. They have homework assignments to bless their kids, to write letters to their family members. And it all kind of is wrapped up into the final climactic day where their wives come on the final day of Father's School, and the men wash the feet of their spouses, and men kind of pledge to be transformed men, husbands and fathers.
Wow. So how long does a Father's School module or program last?
In the United States, it's over 2 consecutive weekends. In Korea, it's 5 Saturdays. In Japan, it's a weekend. I mean, it's in 53 countries, and so they always kind of modify some of the local kind of cultural norms, and they kind of wrap it in a way that's it kind of resonates with the local dads and men.
Well, this is, as you mentioned, it's an international ministry, and you talk about cultural norms.
Right.
And you take those, and then you see, perhaps as we might say, the biblical norm for fatherhood, some of the biblical directives. How is it that you have found it can be effective to share these principles of fatherhood where you've got a situation where it's not necessarily done in a particular culture?
Yeah, I think one of the challenges that men on the margins or immigrant fathers face in the United States, especially first-generation immigrant dads, is that many of them are culturally frozen in the masculinity and fatherhood in the homeland. So when they come to the United States and you have second-generation kids, kind of like me, who are accustomed to kind of American fathering, where it's your friend to your kid, you engage in democratic conversations, you say I love you, those just simply are not part of the repertoire of immigrant dads. And so there's a lot of it's a cultural collision course that's happening. You have a lot of dads who are stuck in the homeland and a lot of American kids who want their dads to be more Americanized or more loving or emotionally expressive. And I think the Father School organization is kind of giving men an opportunity to practice good fathering and using the model within Christianity as the ultimate model of fathering for humanity.